Russia is literally sinking as it is facing its worst floods in 30 years. According to the Russian Ministry of Emergency Situations, flooding has affected numerous regions across the country. The situation is particularly dire in the Urals, specifically in the Orenburg region, where over 11,000 houses have been submerged. However, what raises the most questions is the response of the Russian authorities to these events.
Spring in Russia this year has arrived suddenly as usual. The rise in temperatures has led to a sudden thaw of snow, leading to widespread flooding. Over 40 regions have been affected, with more than 11,000 homes flooded. The flood damage in the Orenburg region alone exceeds $430 million, with media reports confirming at least 4 deaths. Desperate pleas for assistance are echoing from affected communities. Since the onset of the crisis, many are asking, where is the Russian president? Why hasn't he visited the flood-affected regions? On Wednesday, April the 10th, Vladimir Putin's press secretary stated that there are no plans for such visits.
The situation is really tense, and it requires concerted efforts from government officials at all levels to help people. And what about a visit by Vladimir Putin to the affected regions? There are no such plans at the moment.
The Minister of Emergency Situations was dispatched from the federal center to the Orenburg region, but controversy ensued. The minister attributed blame to the residents, claiming they had been warned about the need to evacuate a week prior to a dam bursting. However, there was no such warning. In fact, just 2 days before the disaster, the mayor assured the public that the dam had been inspected and deemed safe.
The evacuation was announced a week ago. People didn't decide to evacuate. They thought it was some kind of a joke. People aren't afraid of being flooded. We remember the times when Orsk experienced floods without a dam, when the floodwaters engulfed houses on Nabyeryzhny Street. But there is no such threat now.
People, enraged by such lies, took to the streets to demand answers.
Grandmothers are dying. Grandmas are drowning because they cannot leave their houses. Everyone saw the conditions of this dam. Before it burst, people had seen it leaking for 3 days. They called the administration and warned about it, but there was no reaction. Eventually, on the 5th of April, it burst in one place, then in the 2nd, in the 3rd, and in the 4th. That is here. In this situation, only the authorities are to blame. This is what local residents say.
When Putin's authorities recognized that there was a potential for protests if they continued to blame citizens, they resorted to a time-tested tactic, finding an external enemy. Putin's plenipotentiary representative in the Urals blamed Kazakhstan for the natural disaster, asserting that such a severe flood would not have occurred if Kazakhstan had discharged water from its reservoirs more consistently. However, experts disagree.
Spring floods are typical in snow-covered areas, and the magnitude of floods depends on how much snow was accumulated over winter and how rapidly this snow melts. So this year we had a very considerable accumulation of snow over winter, and that rapid spring warming, when temperature went from sub-zero to something like 17-18 degrees, and snow melted very quickly, and that's what caused the flood.
The amount of money being mentioned by officials as potential compensation are insufficient to even cover the cost of damaged household appliances, let alone repairs to housing. Moreover, Russian residents fear that they may not receive this compensation at all.